Hi everyone and welcome back to For Teachers. In today's video, I'm going to answer the question, should I become a primary school teacher? I've been asked this question so many times over the last couple of months. I thought it was very important to make a video addressing all the different areas of teaching, from the pay to the work-life balance to the opportunities that teaching present. I'm even going to touch on teacher relationships and how other people might feel about your new job. So grab yourself a pen and paper, grab yourself a drink, and let's work together to create some reasons for and against becoming a primary school teacher. Okay, so the first big thing I'm going to have a talk about is the work-life balance as a school teacher. So many people have been messaging me recently saying, I really want to become a teacher, I just don't know if it's going to be manageable, am I going to be able to still see my friends and family, is the work-life balance situation as terrible as you hear about on the news? There can be a lot of negative stigma attached to being a teacher, and a lot of people say that it is incredibly hard to manage the workload. If you are looking for a job that's going to offer you a really good work-life balance, and you've considered teaching because you get a lot of holidays, you get maybe 6 weeks off in the summer, get quite a long Christmas break, Easter break, yes, that's amazing, and the holidays are absolutely fantastic, don't get me wrong, I really do look forward to them, but it is worth knowing that the holidays don't make up the job completely. You will spend a lot of time during term very overworked, very stressed. There is a lot to prepare and a lot to do. Having said that, you do find that each year of teaching maybe gets a little bit easier. I have spoken to a lot of teachers before recording this video to ask if they will agree with that, and most of them do. Most of them say, you know, that first year is really tough, the second year is very hard but maybe slightly easier, and then after that you do start to find a flow with things. You can reuse some resources that you've made over the years. You start to understand behaviour management and time-saving tips a little bit better, and I do find that you start to gain a better work-life balance. Okay, for this part of the video, I'm going to have a little bit of a talk about teacher pay and how much you get paid as a school teacher. To be fair, I think that the wage for teaching is quite good. I think the starting wage does feel like a well-deserved wage after you've finished your teacher training at university, and there is the opportunity to climb the pay scale every single year as a teacher, which is really nice. Assuming you are hitting the targets that are expected of you, you should be climbing in increments every single year. Here is a picture of the pay scale that is currently available for primary school teachers in the UK. Please understand that the wage would be slightly different if you were to get a job in London, but don't worry, I've posted all the links down below so you can find out what the accurate pay wage is for the place that you live. Having a look at this wage that I can see on the screen, I would say that it's quite reasonable. I remember when I was a school teacher and I started my NQT year, which is my first year of teaching, I remember feeling as though I did have a sufficient amount of money, especially for the stage of life that I was at. I was very young when I did my NQT year, so for me this was like a great lump sum of money that was coming in every single month. I felt like it was a very acceptable wage for me and the stage of life that I was at. If you have been working in a different career for a couple of years, maybe this might not seem as desirable, but I think knowing that teaching has a set wage and that knowing that every single year it will climb and it will go up is quite a nice boost and quite nice to know as a school teacher. Do I think that primary school teachers get paid enough money? That's a whole different video and a whole different discussion, but what we're talking about today is the actual facts of what you will get paid as a school teacher. As you can see, as a primary school teacher, you have the opportunity to take on a TLR. That is a paid increment that you add on to your existing wage in order to take on an extra role within your school. If you've established yourself quite well in your school and you've worked hard for a couple of years and you've shown maybe a particular interest in maths, you could become the maths coordinator in the school. There are also roles like phase leader that you can become. You could be the phase leader for Key Stage 2 within your school. You might find those jobs have been taken and the people that have them are very reluctant to move on because they know that they're onto a good thing. So that could be worth considering when you look for a school as well. If you're going to be working in a very small school where the staff have been there for 20 years and it doesn't seem as though they're going anywhere anytime soon, they're quite settled there, you might want to take a risk and go for a school that does have a higher rate of staff turnover in order to try and secure one of those TLRs at an earlier stage. I'm also going to flash up the pay scale for leadership roles now. Again, all the details will be posted down below. I know it might take you quite a long time to climb up and to get that kind of money. If you are planning on becoming a school teacher and staying as a school teacher for quite a long time, this is definitely something that you can aspire to achieve. And I did also find that when I finished university and I went straight into my teaching job, it might not have been the highest wage in the world, but A lot of my friends were struggling to find work because they'd done a very specific course at university and it took them a lot longer to get onto a pay scale. So I had already been working for maybe a year or 2 years and earning that wage by the time my friends found the jobs that they wanted. And also a lot of people had to settle for jobs that weren't quite what they wanted. I would say you are really likely to get a teaching job straight after you finish your study. There are a lot of jobs available. Whether it's going to be the perfect job for you or not, I can't say for sure, but I would say that there are lots and lots of jobs available for teachers, and you might find that you can start pretty soon after you qualify, which when you look at pay long term sets you off to a really good start, because compared to other people who have studied different courses, you might be able to start earning money a little bit earlier. I will also just quickly flash up the unqualified teacher pay scale for you to have a look at. I know that some schools now are allowed to hire teachers that do not have their QTS. That's your qualified teacher status. So there is a different wage available for that. I would say that looking at that pay, I would definitely not want to be paid that as a school teacher. You do work extremely hard. Your time is very busy, your time is very precious, and I would recommend that if you were considering working as an unqualified teacher, try and get your PGCE, try and get yourself your teaching qualification sorted, because I don't think that that wage would feel acceptable for the workload that you're going to be putting in. As an extension of talking about teacher wages, I'm also going to talk about the opportunities you might be presented as a school teacher. Every school needs different roles. Every school needs a deputy head, head teacher, phase leaders, head of curriculum. So there are going to be a lot of opportunities for you to get a job within your school that will take you on to leadership. If you are an aspirational person or someone who quite likes looking for progression in work, teaching can be a really rewarding job. At the school that I'm working at currently, I've taken on 2 additional roles. One is year group lead and one is head of English language. So if you are a bit of a go-getter and you are someone who wants to try and climb, I would definitely recommend teaching as a job that puts you somewhere on a ladder that you can climb. I'm also going to have a very quick talk about relationships as a teacher. I've had a lot of people message me at the moment saying, I've heard I won't ever see my family, I'm not going to have time for them, will I have time to see my other half is not a teacher, what should I do? The first thing I have to say about this, which I think is very interesting, is a lot of teachers that I know are in relationships with other teachers. Obviously it's not a rule and it's not a requirement of the job, but I think it is really interesting that teachers seem to gravitate towards one another. Obviously there are a lot of benefits to that. If you are with a teacher or there are 2 teachers together in a relationship, you're both going to get similar or the same holidays, so you'll have the same time off at Easter, the same time off at summer, and obviously that can be really good for travel opportunities. If you are considering becoming a primary school teacher, a lot of people that are not teachers might have quite strong opinions about teaching. And this can get especially tough when it comes to you taking your holidays. So if you're on your summer holidays, sometimes people can make you feel as though you don't deserve your holiday, or they can make you feel very bad for being on holiday. I know that sounds ridiculous and it sounds like something I really need to address properly in a full video at some point. But a lot of people have very strong opinions and I feel like they will share them with you. So you get a lot of people say to you like, oh, are you on holiday again? Like, I'm never on holiday. I can't believe how many days you get off. And I don't know how to properly explain how it makes you feel as a teacher, but it can make you feel very undeserving sometimes or defensive of the job. If you're constantly being told by other people, why are you on holiday again? I can't believe you get so much time off. And that can be quite difficult. I do feel like that sticks in my mind quite a lot. And when I hear people say, another week off, teachers have got it so easy, I do feel like it stings a little bit, because when my friends and family have time off, I would never say to them, oh, I can't believe you're on holiday. So I guess that kind of stigma that's attached to teaching is something that you should be aware of. If you are considering becoming a school teacher, you might be fine, you might not hear these comments. Maybe people will realise quite how much work teachers have to do. You probably will hear something like that. And it might have a bit of an impact on the relationships with the people around you, especially if you are finding it difficult to make time to spend with the people you are close to. It's just worth considering. It's worth making a note of. Of course, if you do have children of your own, which I don't right now, maybe it would be considered a positive that you will also have time off when your children have time off. So you might have a really similar holiday time to your own children, which might save you money in childcare, and it might mean that you get more time to spend with your children. I guess there's lots of different ways we can look at this, and it can be a positive for some and a burden for others. I think it is something that's very important to consider when you are Sorry, the sun is doing all kinds of crazy things today. It's definitely worth considering how teaching might affect your current and future relationships. The next thing I'm going to have a talk about is quite deep, but I think it's really important that I share my opinion on this and let you know exactly how I feel about my role as a human on this planet. I worry that I'll reach an age in life and I'll look back and think, what did I do? What did I really do that made a difference? Obviously, making these videos can be quite helpful for me because I feel like I am making an impact, hopefully, on some people who are thinking about teaching. I think some people feel the need to get a job that is going to have a positive impact on others. If you are a school teacher, if you are thinking of becoming a school teacher, hopefully you'll have a massive, massive positive impact on hundreds of children that are going to go on to do amazing things in this world. I think whenever I'm having a really tough time with teaching and whenever the workload is just piling up and I really can't focus on what's important and I sort of lose track a little bit, I like to try and remember that the job that I've chosen has such a massive positive effect on the lives of many. So if you are looking for a job in life that will give you a huge amount of job satisfaction and you want a job that makes you feel as though you're really achieving quite a lot, you're having a really positive impact on the life of others, teaching can really do that for you. You get a huge amount of job satisfaction from inspiring the next generation of children. Next, I'm going to have a talk about where teaching can take you. I believe that if you are a school teacher and you've been working as a teacher for a couple of years, you have got a serious amount of skill set that you can apply to other jobs. If you are still wanting to work with children or with education in some way, if you've started out by becoming a school teacher and you've got that qualification, chances are you can apply those skills into so many different areas too. I've provided a link down below that has lots and lots of different options for school teachers that have been teaching for a while and might want to go into a different career. As every country around the world needs school teachers, it might also be really good to know that your qualification can take you into lots of different places. Right now I'm a school teacher and I work in Hong Kong. I find the work-life balance is a little bit better, the pay is certainly better, and I'm enjoying exploring this side of the world. If you would like to find out more about teaching in Hong Kong, we have got a few playlists with some videos all about teaching abroad. Maybe go and check those out. Teaching is one of those amazing jobs that you can dip in and out of. You could be a teacher for a few years, you could take a break, you could have a year focusing on something else, and have quite a good secure knowledge that if you chose to go back into teaching, there will probably be some jobs available. Even if that means working as a supply teacher for a while, that can be really helpful as well to get to know lots of different schools and how they work. To sum up, is teaching a hard job? Yes, it's really hard. It's time consuming. You're going to have to put a lot of effort in. You're going to have to put a lot of work into the job every single day, apart from maybe the summer holidays. You can have some time off then. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are still interested in becoming a school teacher, please consider checking out our playlists. We have one all about getting into teaching, we have one all about your first year of teaching, and we have some tips for existing teachers who just want to have a look at improving their own practice. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.